Hey, good evening. It's Kathy Beatty with Divorce Support Anonymous. Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm thrilled that you are here, and I like to step into your life to give you just a tidbit of hope and help and tools, techniques to get through the trauma of divorce. I'm glad that you're here, and this topic is one that is relevant to you. And I don't know where you're at in this process. Maybe it's been years since your divorce is completed, and I do have people in my groups who have completed their divorce many years ago and yet still struggle to get that transition and move forward. So this program may very well be for you and for everyone that's going through divorce. My dog has a bone that he's chewing on and enjoying. So if you hear some crackling, that would be him enjoying his bone. So my apologies for that. Topic tonight. Before I get into the topic, let me just say this. New group has begun, has started. We started last week. There is still time for you. It is hybrid. So no matter where you are throughout the country or out of the country, and you have internet access, you can join the group. We do it at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you are in Grand Rapids, Michigan area, you can join us in person. If you are outside of the area, you certainly can join us by Zoom. It is not too late. So connect with me for a registration form. Topic tonight is learning to let go in divorce. That's a tough one. It's all tough, right? Every aspect of it is tough. So, how do we let go in divorce? How do we begin? Because if we hold on and hold on and hold on to something that is impossible, then we're just going to waste more time, more energy, more life in doing that. There is an importance of dealing with reality. And we're going to talk about that today. So, in your relationship, you have tried and tried, right? You have tried to make this relationship go. You have done counseling. You have talked with your pastor. You have talked with friends. You have read books. You have watched videos. You went away for marriage retreats. You have tried and you have tried and you have tried. And this marriage still is not going to make it because of an affair, a betrayal, financial abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse. The list goes on. You know what those reasons are, but you also know that you have tried and tried to get this marriage to be saved. And you have prayed and you have prayed. Over and over again, you have prayed, God, please heal my marriage. Please heal my marriage. For this marriage, for my children, please, God, heal this marriage. And yet it's not healed. And it's not working. And it's still broken. And it's still toxic. And you have hoped and hoped because you thought, oh, if I just hope long enough, if I hold on to hope, this marriage is going to be saved. You have hoped and you have hoped. And still, the abuse continues, the brokenness continues, the abandonment continues. And hope has gotten you nowhere. Did you know there's a wonderful book out by Dr. Henry Cloud called Necessary Endings, that there is a time to stop hoping? And you think, what? The Christian faith is all about. Faith is all about hoping of things that are unseen, the substance of things hoped for, the things unseen. But still, nothing's happening. And years have passed, and decades have passed, and still nothing has happened. There is a time to reconcile with the truth. And as much as you have tried, and you have prayed, and you have hoped, the truth of the matter is that this marriage is dead. And it simply needs to be buried. And that's a hard reality. And yet you can waste years and time and decades in just holding on so hard when the reality and the truth is the marriage is dead, and it's going to take great bravery to let it go. But it is also necessary to let it go. And you may even be in the middle of the divorce process and holding on to hope and praying and hoping and trying. I know with myself, it was not messy. There were several attempts to try to get it back together and then back to the same reality that it never would happen. So God deals in truth, and He wants us to deal in truth. And as painful as it is, truth is always, always our friend, because it has to be grasped and understood before we can do something about it. If we stay in denial all of the time and we don't face the truth, then life and time goes on, and only more toxicity occurs. What is the truth that you need to be facing right now? What is that truth? And maybe this is even after the divorce. What is that truth? Maybe the truth is that he will never change or she will never change. And when you learn that truth and you understand that truth, then you can stop trying and beating your head against a cement wall to get something to work that's never going to work. It's a hard reality. It's a painful reality. But the truth is always our friend. Because if we don't know that we have cancer, we can't deal with it. We can't fight it. If we don't know that, I can't think of another example right now, but you get my point. We have to face the truth before we can do something about it. We can begin to work on our healing. We can begin to look forward into another direction that is truth, that is reality, that has potential and possibility for us. Of course, I have scriptures for us that match this. And the book of Ecclesiastes, you probably know it well. There's a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away. What is the reality that you need to face right now in your situation? And again, maybe it's 5 years after the fact, and you still keep hoping and dreaming and planning. Or maybe you're in the middle of it and you're hoping that he or she is going to turn around and see reality and see what the damage they're doing. But they don't. And therefore, your work and responsibility is to deal with the truth that is put in front of you. But not to despair, to realize there is a time to give up. But not in despair, because he has a plan, a glorious plan through this. I have plans for you, God is saying to us in Jeremiah 29:11. I have plans. This is not the end. I have plans, and they are big ones. They are big ones, and they are beautiful ones. There's a couple other verses. This is one that I put in the front of my book, Suddenly Single, because I love it so much. It's so full of potential and hope. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, God is saying to you, see, I'm doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Now it's beginning. Don't you perceive it? Don't you see it? Don't you see the potential? Every morning, God wakes you up with potential. I'm making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. You feel like you're in the wilderness. You feel like there is no water. You are parched. You are hungry. You are starving. You are clawing through the sand and the wasteland to find a way. And yet God says, Don't dwell on the past. I'm going to do a new thing beyond what you can even imagine. And I personally can testify to that. When you get in line with who God is, and you deal with the reality and you work on your healing and you begin to move forward and seek out a good life, you will find it. Romans 8:28. We know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who've been called according to his purpose. Do you love God? This whole situation is a spiritual situation. Do you love God? He uses all of this crap to make something beautiful. Beauty out of ashes, he says. Beauty out of ashes. All things, even this, even this. So I hope that you will give up hope where you need to. And you will reconcile with the truth, the reality, and then say, God, where do we go from here? What could you possibly make out of this mess? And in faith, you step into your new life and you take the risk that are necessary to begin that new life. It's time to let go of your past. It's time to begin looking forward into a beautiful future that God has for you. How do I know that? I've seen it in the hundreds of people that I have worked with. Over the past 19 years, I have seen what God has done in their lives when they are intentional on their healing and they include God in this process of healing. Can't do it alone. Can't do it without him. Don't waste any more years. Let's get this healing started. Join us in the group. Find a therapist. Be intentional on what you are doing and moving forward into that beautiful life that is there beyond divorce. This is Kathy Beatty with Divorce Support Anonymous, walking with you every step of the way through the trauma and after the trauma of divorce. Have a great evening. Good night.